In this first video, I'm going to go over some of the tools that we're going to use in order to program in Python, and how to create the programs and how to turn in the programs. The first thing to say is that Python's Python pretty much. There may be some version issues. I think 3.11 is the most current issue. You will certainly need a version 3 of some sort. The newer, the better, as features do change. But that being said, any way that you want to program in Python is going to be okay for the most part. The examples that I use will be from a program called PyCharm. It's a full IDE. It's specifically set up to support Python, and it has a good facility for adding some of the libraries that we're going to be using later. Okay, so that's what I'm going to recommend. In addition, Google Drive has a feature called Collaborator or Colab, something collaboratory maybe, that allows you to upload Python code and then share it. So I'm going to at least explore using that as a way to turn in work. So let's take a quick demo of what those things look like. Okay, so start. Here we are at the PyCharm website. Okay, it's at jetbrains.com/PyCharm. Okay, and from this you should be able to download. Okay, and you want to download, and you'll have the versions here for Windows, Mac OS, or whatever. You want to download the community version here, unless you want to pay for it, which you probably don't. Okay, so I'm on a Mac, which should look the same. So I'm going to download it. And then once it downloads, pop it up here, except that's in the way. Sure if you can see all of that. I always forget what Zoom shows and what doesn't. Anyway, on the Mac, you see that to install it. Drag that over. It then installs it. Pretty straightforward. Okay, and then that's not what I wanted. And then go to PyCharm. Kept jumping out of the way. There's something that it says it's a app from the internet. Do you really want to use it? Say yes. I've read this before. You can read the user agreement if you want. Nothing weird on it. Okay, I'm not going to send any data. You can choose whatever you want there. Okay. So then this takes you into the PyCharm interface. Okay. So if you start a new project, it's going to give you some information about this. Okay. It also gives you here the version of Python you want to use. Currently 3.9 is what's on my computer. We'll talk a little bit about updating it as well. Okay. So if you just create this, then it's going to take you into here, which is the project. Okay. And then from the project, here is the main.py file. And you see it's taken some things automatically, and it gives you some sample stuff. Okay. You can then do whatever you want from there. Okay. So we'll talk more about this as we go along, but the tool should be fairly straightforward from you or to you if you've used any kind of an IDE before. Okay. So let's talk. Put out of here. Okay. Let's talk about Python versions a little more. Okay, so if you go to python.org, it's going to take you to the main Python page. Under the Downloads tab, you can then get, again, 3.11 is the most recent version. Okay, and you can, it tells right here, since I'm on the Mac OS, I can download Python 3.11.1 from right there. It asks you to donate, but you certainly don't have to. Okay. So you do want to upgrade the Python version on your computer to the latest, and then you can point the PyCharm to use that version. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is this whole idea of the collaborator. Okay. So if you go to new, and again, I'm going to assume that you have, or that you will create a Google Drive document. This, if you have Gmail, then you have that, or if you have any Google account, the Google account should be the same credentials. Okay, but we're going to use Google Drive to turn in work for this class. At least we're going to try to do that. Okay, so if you go to new, more, you'll see that this Google Colaboratory is an option for me. If it's not an option for you yet, if you haven't used this, you have to go down to the Connect More Apps button. Okay, and if you search for the Colaboratory, see it pops up, you go there, it's right here, and it shows for me that it's installed. So if it's not installed, you go ahead and click that, it will install, and you'll be good, okay? And again, we'll talk more about this in class, but what it looks like basically here, as it pops up, give it a second. Okay, this is similar if you've ever used Jupyter Notebooks, which is a program that a lot of Python people use. It allows you to have code embedded into a document that you can run the code within that document. Okay, so basically here we can do whatever you want to do. We can just do our typical hello world program. Okay, and once you've done that, then you're able to run it right from there. Okay, it's going to save this one. I should have saved it as a different name. Okay. Now it says it's running. It may take a while the first time. Yeah. If you look, what this, it's really interesting over here. What this does for you is that it creates a virtual machine online. Okay, so we can go here and I haven't subscribed to this. So it's going to just allow us to use whatever it has around. But if you want more memory and disk space, you certainly could upgrade, which you shouldn't need to do for this class. Okay, but the idea is if you have code here, you can do that. We can then add text. Okay, so the text could be whatever comments about the code that you want. Okay, you can then move these around. Somehow it seems I did that before, and I'm not sure how. Oh, there we go. I just promote it that way. So you can put the comments up here. You can have your code. You can have, if this were a homework assignment with multiple programs, okay, then I could do another code segment, okay, and I can push this down to the end, okay, and then inside of here, I could just, something exit range 10, print X, and run that, and you see that runs as well. Okay, and both of these are independent. So I can change this, rerun it, and it doesn't affect that. And I can change this and rerun it. Okay, and again, you probably would want comments between each of these, whatever it does. Okay, and then again, I can move this up into place as far as that goes. Okay. So we're going to try that. So I think what I'm hoping, I have not taught with the Google Colaboratory before, so it may be a total disaster. We'll see how it goes. But what I'm envisioning is that you will develop your programs in PyCharm or whatever else you choose to program it in, and then you should be able to cut and paste it into a Colaboratory document that you can then share with me. Okay. And of course, I didn't name this anything, but you can rename this, name it something else, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't change the extension. And again, this is in Jupyter Notebook format, so you can download it and upload it to Jupyter if you're using that Jupyter Notebooks. But then you can share here. Okay, so in the share tab, and the person you want to share it with, and I'll put this on Moodle as well, is this FrazierDE@gmail.com. That's my Google address. You save that. You can then give me access to look at it, and I'll be able to grade it from there. Put the comments right into here is how I'm hoping it's going to work. Okay. Okay, so that's just a general look at the tools we're going to be using. We'll look at them in class real quick as well. And one more thing I wanted to say in this introductory video is just that it's a programming class, it's a skill class more than a knowledge class. So my goal in this class is to program a lot. As such, I'm going to be releasing a lot of the lecture type material, the things I would normally lecture in class. I'm going to be releasing as videos on YouTube, and they'll be linked to Moodle before class. The idea being You'll read through the assignment if there is any. You will watch the video. Then in class will be a time for question and answers, and most importantly, a time for doing programs. So we're going to spend a lot of time in class doing programs. There will still be some programs that you'll do for homework. There'll be a various kinds of group activities. We'll put together a little program that will randomly group people in groups of 2 or 3 or whatever we're doing. And there may be some longer term group projects as well. Okay. In addition, toward the end of the class, once we get the basics of Python down, I'm going to allow you to specialize for our final project on either machine learning or web design or data science, lots of things. Whatever your interests are, you should be able to find something within the Python world. Okay. And again, we'll talk more about that in class, but I just wanted to give you this update or this first video to show you where the tools are and kind of how things are going to be going. Okay. If you have any questions, as always, make sure you let me know.